Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the map Italian Rice 22. Let's just read the PDA real quick. This map reproduces the rice growing areas of the Rice Triangle, the countryside between the cities of Milan, Pavia, Novara, and Vercelli, with their typical farmhouses and landscapes. I apologize for any minced pronunciations. We got one main farm to start the career, 4 more independent farms, got a little typo there, for more realistic multiplayer experience if you want to spread out. 87 floodable fields with openable water gates, 4 different rice varieties with real textures, 2 different corn varieties, grain and maize silage, 1 fully customizable area with cow husbandry installed, 1 fully customizable, another little typo there, area with big biogas plant, 1 selling plant for rice crops, 1 selling point for other crops, 1 flour mill, 1 quarry, 5 forestry areas, 1 vehicle dealer, and it is compatible with the precision farming mod. So look at some screenshots here. Looks like we got a nice Italian style farmyard there. Pretty square fields, it looks like. Some angles here, some weird little jut outs on the fields. Better look at our Italian farmyard. And then these look like some rice fields here, ready for harvest, I would imagine. And then it's showing off the snow. And yeah, here's what happens when you flood the fields. They're obviously flooded with water, and that is to help the rice grow because it is a very wet crop. When you do download this map, there are a few extra mods. I think there's 4 or 5 that it downloads with the mod. All told, it's not a ton of storage. Here they are. The New Holland, a cow husbandry, trailed loader, air compressor, and modular BGA. About 6 megabytes there. Modular BGA 74, so it is a fairly big download. The map is 539 megabytes. But anyways, let's get into the farm. We're going to be doing a deep dive into this map to explore every feature in depth, so make sure you stick around. Alright guys, in conjunction with this map, I am also going to be taking a look at the Case IH 7150 Rice version. This mod has been out for absolutely ages. I think it's been out over a year, but we've never had a map on the mod hub that I know about that's had rice as part of it. So we've had a rice harvester, but no rice really. So effectively, I mean, it's just going to have a different hopper and different wheels that are like paddles available for working in the very wet land that rice is a part of. And they show it harvesting soybeans, which that's not rice, so I'm not sure. Anyways, we're going to be using that to harvest the rice. Just FYI. Here's where we spawn in the Italian farmyard, as I like to call it. It is an Italian map. Obviously, Italian rice is the name of it. Or Italian rice lands or something. We've got a nice little pool here, in-ground pool, some little chairs. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good looking area here, little playset type thing. Good shrubbery. I mean, this is really good. Alright, let's see if these doors open. They do. Oh, they're little accordion doors. That's really cool. Here's where the New Holland harvester lives with a corn header. Got a little bike there. That's pretty cool. And this must be our farm. It says Marina Farm Dryer is what it's called. I'm guessing it's just the silo for our stuff. Let's have a look at the fields. I'm getting distracted. So we got maybe water pipes there. Water pipes there. Yeah, so it looks like it's got a few water pipes and it is kind of set down into the ground a couple of feet. Obviously that's to let it flood. And we do start out with a ton of land. We've got, how many is that? 8 total fields, which is really good. And that's valued at about $793,000. So if you want to sell that off, go ahead and buy other land, of course. We've got a New Holland T6 with some really wild wheels. Wow. I'm guessing those are for getting traction when there is water flooding the field. We've got a ton of equipment here. We got a power harrow, 2 of those. And we've got a seeder and front tank for the seeder combination. Then we've got a planter with a front tank combination, little disc tiller over there, and a sprayer and fertilizer spreader here. Got a bucket a Kloss, Axion, John Deere 6R, John Deere 6M, Case IH Maxim 145. Wowzers, we got a lot of stuff on this farm. Yep, so the T6, the Maxim, and the 6M are small tractors. The 6R, Axion, and 7810 are medium. Got the one harvester. We got a Manitou telehandler, the Lizard pickup, 2 Flegel trailers that'll each hold 40,000 liters. As I said, the 25-foot header with the corn header as well. A couple of plows, a Lemken cultivator, Agco disc harrow, 2 power harrows plus the power harrow seeder with front tank. As I said, we already looked at those. We got a roller, the sprayer. Just make sure we don't have multiples of any of these. The buckets for the telehandler. Looks like we got a low loader, a header trailer for the Kloss header, a bunch of weights, and a trailed loader. And that is this thing. So you can't drive it around. You got to pull it around with the hitch. But yeah, you just attach that to the back of a tractor, pull it around, and it'll load stuff up. So that is one of the separate mods included with it, with the map. And where are we right now? So we don't own this land, and it is the cow husbandry. So really big cow space. We got 2 massive bunkers for silage, a big covered space. I'm guessing that's to hold bales. We got 2 of those, and then of course the very large cattle barn. Let's see how many animals we can have in here. 200, so not a crazy amount. Looks like it does have the Lely, sorry. Lely? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Robot feeder, so you don't have to mix it up. You can just pour it all into these storing cubbies, wherever those are, and the robot will automatically mix them. How much is that value? Oh, let me see here. How much is that valued at? Let's see if the door works. Nope. So do I just have to buy the land it sits on? Well, I've got enough money. Let's have a look at that. Can I put cattle in here? I can. Wow. Now what if I sell the land? Right, I can't sell it because I got placeables, which is the barn, of course. Okay, so in terms of what we've got here, obviously they said 4 different types of rice, which looks like Luna, Selenio, Perone, and CL28 rice. And those all have the exact same color. So if you want to figure out which one it is, just deselect them all. Press on one of them, you'll see that is these few fields down here, then deselect that and press the other one. You see it's those fields, and so on, just in case you are curious. If you want to buy somebody else's field, instead of them all having the same color, you can see, I want some Selenio rice. I picked the wrong one. I don't know how to pronounce that one. Yeah, you can just select it and see which fields are like that. Obviously, we'll be looking at all of the custom textures for forage maize and all 4 rices. And they said there were 2 corn variations. That's corn and forage maize. Again, they are the same color, so if you want to figure out which one's which, deselect the other one. We're going to be looking into the textures of the corn, the textures of the rice, as well as every production and the whole process of rice from start to finish. Is this the vehicle store? Yes, okay. Vehicle shop, and I saw some equipment out front. We got a fake front, so can't go inside, but it looks like it's got an interior, even though it's really low quality. Let's see what this over here is. Open wardrobe. Okay, so that's how you change your outfit. I'm going to be sticking with my customary skin. And let's figure out just how much space the store has, because I like to check that early on. Right, the store space is full, and there are 2 rows of space, which is interesting, because that means could probably even use up the space in between if you have really big implements or vehicles. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6. So we got 12 of these little slurry tankers. It's what I typically use to figure out how much space. Yeah, pretty good. Not sure quite how far it stretches forward. I'd guess probably these white lines here on the ground is a pretty good indicator. So you can use like all of this space, or maybe this stays open. Right. Big equipment will fit in there just fine. That's a pretty good store space. Let's make sure I didn't miss anything at the starting farm, which is up here. We've got a workshop and the farm dryer, which again I assume is our silo. I won't know that later until later when I do the rice fields, and I will do all 4 types of rice just on the starting fields that we've got, just to show you guys the complete process. We got an animal husbandry over here, grain mill, very, very close to our starting farm. There's our farm there, and this little road right here heads right to the grain mill, and it is a custom texture, isn't it? Benvenuti? Oh, I fell down in the paddle wheel, and I can't get out. Okay, back to the map. We've got, as I looked at, the cow husbandry, a gas station down here right by the store. That's where we just were. Nibio cereals plant, straw bales selling point, irrigation consortium. Again, I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to look into that. It may be how we control where the water goes. Riso Giallo. Sorry about that. Rice processing plant. Looks like we got a bit of a town here. And as far as items on the map, that's it. The rest of it is fields and forestry. They said there were 5 forestry areas. You cannot buy the outside of the map. So here's 1, here's 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they all have multiple pieces attached to them. And they're all, you know, fair prices, I'd say. Let's look at the biggest field. Wow. These, okay, so when you buy them, you get multiple fields. There's 800,000 up there, 850,000, 570,000, 820,000, 600,000, 500,000, and the smallest ones you can buy are 350, 380, 260,000. Just trying to figure out what the cheapest areas you can buy are. So looks like you're going to need at least 250,000 if you want to buy any fields. So yeah, there you go. Now let's look into the process of rice. Farming rice, we got to go from start to finish. So right now, obviously we have, these are cultivated fields. Not sure if rice can be planted with regular planters or if we need something modded for that. So let's have a look. Looks like planters don't do it, but seeders do. So if you want to plant rice, you have to use a seeder. You can't use a planter. And it looks like both types of corn are available with planters. So if you want to use that, you can do that. Additionally, this map has added sorghum to planters, which is interesting. That's not a base game feature. And as per usual, this Kverneland planter always misses things. It's the only planter that allows you to plant canola, and whenever maps add other crops to be planted with planters, the Kverneland never has them. So I wonder if maybe when you're modding equipment or whatever, the Kverneland isn't like a separate folder or something, because it's never, like every planter has sorghum. Every single one except this Kverneland, and that's always the case when modders add custom crops to their maps. It's never with this Kverneland, which is interesting to me. Anyways, just my brain going crazy. Let's go ahead and plant some rice, and then yeah, I'm gonna see about spreading water into them. So let's do that first. First thing you're gonna do, you're gonna want all your fields to be cultivated, as mine are, so that you are able to plant the rice. That's the first step. You use seeders, as I said. We've got a few, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And let's see here. I'll use the 6R and the Kloss Axion, because those are 2 medium tractors. So let's go ahead, grab some seeders, and get in the fields and seed the rice. One thing I just noticed that I did want to draw attention to, the modder didn't leave enough room to get out of the shed, so you got to fold up the seeder in order to fit out. Kind of annoying, but you know, it's not the end of the world because you can fold it up. Now if this seeder didn't fold up, I would definitely say, hey, don't play the map, or don't use that seeder, I guess is a better way of doing that. So for this first field, we're going to be going with the first variation of rice, which is called, hang on a second, it is called Luna rice. That'll be on 31. We'll put Selenio rice on 40. 41 will have Baroni rice, and CL28 rice will be on field 32. And one thing to keep in mind, as the fields have these sloped edges, hold on a minute, I'm going all over the place. As the fields do have the sloped edges, you're going to want to be careful that you're seeding along the edge instead of seeding going up and down out of the ditches, because it is a little hard on the tractor to do that. The best place to enter is here, because that is the most gradual change of elevation. Otherwise, you're going to kind of be thumping down over the edges, unless you don't care about that. Anyways, fire up the seeder, drop it down, and we're off. Let's get these fields done. Just an FYI, the starting tractor, this is the biggest one we've got, this John Deere 6R. It is a little small while we're using this seeder and front box. It's just underweight and small as we're doing the fields. The tires are slipping around. It's not easy to turn it around. So I would recommend, as soon as possible, instead of rocking with the 6R, sell that thing and upgrade to a 7R or even an 8R, just so you've got more weight. It's a bigger tractor. I mean, this is 16.1 tons versus the John Deere 6R, which is 9.6. So you're getting nearly double the weight. And, you know, just a lot smaller tractor. This is a little too small, and it's the biggest one we start with, as I said. But the fields are now done. We've got Luna rice here on 31, Selenio rice on 40, Baroni rice on 41, and CL28 rice on 32. So that's the first step, of course, is planting the rice. So now that we've got that done, we're ready for the next step. You'll head down to the irrigation consortium, and you're going to walk up to the door, and you're going to press on a computer, you press left click. On a controller, let me walk around. Okay, for a bit you will press B to it says water canal level up to allow rice field irrigation. You press that and then it'll say water level raised, so that's what you want. Then it doesn't show anywhere, but you're going to come down to right over here. There's these little places around the map that have these little symbol here. You walk up to it, you press B on a controller or left click with the mouse, and that's going to raise the water level up for the fields. You wait a little bit and then boom, they're covered in water. But realistically, you'd want to wait a month to let the crops sprout. I don't think we have a house anywhere. Okay, I got that fixed. I just had to buy a farmhouse and put it down. So you don't start out with a farmhouse, but you do start out with a farmhouse. It just doesn't work. So I would recommend, here's your house. I would recommend, there's a mod called the farm doormat or something. It's a sleep trigger that's literally just the size of this doormat. You just put it down right in front of the door there, or over here if you want to, because you can't go inside the house, but you can just put the sleep trigger right there and press the button and sleep. Anyways, yeah, I just went with a trailer because it's the cheapest. Let's have a look at all the textures. So it's a really bright green with some kind of yellowish roots, and I want to see if they are the same texture for every field. Looks like they are so far, because remember I have all 4 types on these fields. Yep, they are all the exact same. So now we move forward to the next month. Right, sorry. Now is when we would raise the water level. So if you haven't gone to the irrigation consortium, you do that. Then you press left click or B, wait a little bit, and boom. The fields are flooded with water. And interesting little lesson, the reason for flooding the rice fields is not because rice grows better in water. It is because rice doesn't die in water, and weeds die in water, and insects die in water. So if there are insects or pests eating your crop, or weeds growing in between your crop choking it out, you just flood the field with water. The pests won't be able to get to the rice because it's under the water level, and the weeds will die out because they drown, whereas rice doesn't drown. So you would hold it like that, and this is when we would use the New Holland with the rice wheels here. If we wanted to spread fertilizer or spray fertilizer, that's what we'd use. And the reason it's got those wheels is so that it gets traction even in a flooded field. Less points of contact means it doesn't dig down and rip up the rice that's there. It just kind of spikes through the middle of them and pushes them to the side, and they do okay. Right, into the next month so we can check on the texture of rice. So to my memory, that is the exact same texture. It might be slightly different. Let's go ahead and unflood the rice fields, drain the water, and that does do it instantly. When you press to fill the fields with water, it does have a bit of a delay, but when you remove it, again, it is the same, and all 4 fields still look the exact same. So let's sleep through until we get a change in the texture. Okay, so we have had a change in the texture now. They're just taller, a little bit darker green, a little bit darker yellow down at the roots, and I just want to make sure all fields look the same. I'm guessing they'll look the exact same. Whoop, that's not my field. Up here. Yep, they're all the same. Pretty good looking texture. He said that does look realistic, and I would agree as far as I know about rice. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It's been another couple of months, and I believe they are taller now even than they were. Very similar textures, just a little bit taller. So, looks like they're going to take either 5 or 6 months to grow fully. If we turn on seasonal growth, because I do have it off for right now, it'll show you plant all types of rice from March to May, and they are ready for harvest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months later in September, October, or November. So if you plant in March, it's ready for harvest in September. If you plant April, it's ready to harvest in October. If you plant in May, it's ready to harvest in November. So 5 or 6 months it looks like. So let's keep moving forward until we see the ready to harvest texture. Okay, the rice fields are ready for harvest, and this is the first time that the fields have a different texture. So we've got over here the Luna rice, and we've got right across the road the CL28 rice. Over here is the Selenio rice. Still was showing me this field here. It is Selenio rice. And then all the way across here we've got Baroni rice, which looks similar to barley. So they all 4 have different textures at ready to harvest, but every other time they are identical textures, which could be very realistic, I'm not sure. Now is the part where we bring out, the rice harvester mod that I talked about. This one, and you can go with, again, these paddle wheels, these paddle tracks, or rice wheels. I want to go with the double rice wheels. Let's give it the short pipe. Oh, this doesn't matter at all, but I kind of want it. Then you can also make it black, which is what I'm going to do. Buy that. Oh, right. Ha! The store is still full of slurry tanks, so let's go ahead and return all of these. Go to combinations, and we've got a lot of different headers. I'm going to go with the 25 footer just because the fields are quite small. And just that way it's 25 foot, so I probably could get away with not using a header trailer. Oh, yes. Let's move the 6R out of the way. And then we'll get to harvesting, just so you guys can see what the fields look like when they're harvested, what it kind of looks like while you're harvesting, and kind of how much yield you're going to get. Let's just park this guy right here. And as you could tell when I turn the wheels or hit the brakes and turn the wheels, it doesn't turn. It just kind of slides because the front is just way too light. The sound is pretty good of this mod. It's got beacon lights. It's got flashers. Very nice. Let's get back to our field, and then we can start harvesting. In terms of how this map looks, it is completely amazing. We got rows of trees here. This is part of the forestry area. Cozy little farmyards around. Like this one here, we got the townhomes in the city. A nice road. Like, this map is amazing. Look at that. That's awesome. I think I might have to make this into a series, guys. I'm loving this. And the fact that it's got rice. I've wanted to farm rice ever since this mod came out with these weird tires. That's crazy. Let me make sure I'm going the right way. Nope, I'm going the wrong way. Let's go ahead and turn it around. A couple things with this mod, this harvester mod. It doesn't turn quite as sharp as you'd think it would. Obviously now I'm being an idiot and driving over barriers and stuff. The only gripe I have is the brakes are just really bad. They're not unplayable. Like, let's get up to maximum speed and I'll hit the brakes. Ready, brakes. It took a long time to get stopped. Not the end of the world. Just a little bit annoying. I like tractors that can stop on a dime, harvesters that can stop on a dime. This one just takes a while. Some of them are way worse. Some of the mods I've used, especially in Farming Simulator 17, the tractor would just keep rolling. The brakes didn't even work that well. But just wanted to point that out in case you guys were wanting to play this map yourselves. Here we can get a closer look at this farmyard up here. As I said, beautiful, very cozy. It's got a good atmosphere, and it's kind of given me Oxygen David vibes. Maybe not quite to the level that he makes maps, but there's something for everybody on here. Various different types of fields. There's some forestry, little rock quarry over here if you wanted to get mods that can do quarries. I'm sure they would work here. Don't quote me on that. Oh shoot, is this going to be where we don't fit? Nope, we threaded the needle perfectly. And, you know, this header is 25 foot wide, and there was only one spot that was a tight squeeze, so there's plenty of wide open space if you need it on the map. So, yeah, very, very good map. The background could maybe use some work, but it's not bad. It is a very good map. One of the better ones I've seen in a while. And it's Italian. I like Italian. That's where Lamborghinis and Ferraris are made. So, yeah, it's pretty cool that we've got an Italian map, because this is also where the vineyards and orchards for olives and for grapes. This is where, you know, Italy, that's where they typically have a lot of those things. And the Antonio Carraro DLC, that's an Italian company. In case you couldn't tell by the name, Antonio Carraro, that's Italian. So, yeah, if you wanted to use those, use them here. Anyways, for this first field, I'm going to do them in the order I planted them. So we've got Luna rice here. Well, where's it? Right here? Where's the entrance into the field? It's over here. Ooh, I don't want to drive into that. These darn brakes, they are pretty bad. And I maybe should have gone with a smaller header. This is the smallest one I could have, I guess. So, just the harvester. Smaller harvester. But this is a rice harvester, so I wanted to use it on this. Let's fire it up. Don't have access to this land? Of course I do. Enable straw swath. I don't think you're going to be able to do that, but we'll try it out. Oh, this isn't my field. Now I feel stupid. Pardon me. Let me go get to my land. Oh my gosh. I should have listened to that warning. Usually it just tells me that, like, if I turn it on, like right here, some maps will say you don't have access to the land, even though you do. Okay, so there we are, we're harvesting. Not bad. No straw swath available. The animation of it going into the head could use some work. Obviously, you got some clipping out on the sides. Not perfect. That could be the mod's fault, because this is a modded header. But out the back, the texture on the ground looks really good. The texture out the back looks really good. The cut texture, the cut stubble texture, looks very good. I'm going to go ahead and get a base game header, just so I can be sure I'm not giving this map a bad name because it's got a bad head, or a bad texture. Got the header here, and looks like it's still got the same thing. So that is on the map. The texture they've got is not perfect, or the animation they made for it going into the head isn't perfect, but I mean it's pretty good. So I just wanted to show that and make sure it wasn't the map's fault, or it wasn't the header fault. So because these are both mods, so it could be the header, it could be the map. I just wanted to make sure. From in the cab, I mean, it looks really good, the animation of it going into the header, but if you are really keen on details, like it's not the best. You can see it kind of clips outside of the header. Not the best, but still pretty good. As far as yield goes, I didn't fertilize this at all, so this is really good yield. You know, we're only 25-foot header, and we've only done, I haven't even done the whole outside row yet, so let's see what the prices would be for this. Where are those? Here we go. And they're going to be all the way at the bottom, I believe, because it is a mod. So it looks like around $1,100 to $1,200, and that is very similar to wheat prices, and I feel like we're getting a lot more yield than wheat would get. Maybe not, but that's what I'm feeling. So, yeah. Very good texture of the straw going out in the back, this straw. All in all, I am very pleased with this texture. This is the Luna rice. So, I'm gonna, obviously because the hopper is enclosed, I need to pour it into a trailer so I can see kind of what it looks like. Or I can just pour it on the ground, which is what I'm gonna do. Just up there after we get this little pass done. Good enough. Bring out that auger. Okay, that looks like the wheat texture, or maybe oats. It's a kernel. I'm not sure what you would call rice. Granules, probably. You'd probably call it a rice grain or granule. These are kernels. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's realistic. I haven't seen much rice, but not a bad texture. I would guess they just copied the wheat or oat texture in the game. But don't quote me on that because I'm not sure. Alright, let's go to the next field and see how Selenio rice, is that what it is? Let's see how that looks. Looks the same out the back. The straw coming out the back. Looks a little bit different on the ground, just a different shade between the two. But going in, it looks like this texture, the Luna rice texture, is kind of going in there. Let me try and turn this thing around so we can see. Yeah, it is. So that's really bad. That's annoying. The texture on the field is different than the texture that goes into the combine, and you can tell there, like, it's a different shade, it's a different crop. So it's got me a little worried for the other fields that they're going to be the same way. But as far as how the crop looks, this is some of the best. This is better than the in-game texture for crop stubble. Like, if you have wheat and you cut it, like, it doesn't look this good on the ground afterwards. This is very, very good. Very pleased with the mod in that regard, this map. Let's go ahead and check out the... Oh, what is this type? Come on now. So we harvested Luna already. That was Selenio there. We're going to check out Baroni rice. And I am just going to dump this We need to check and see what it looks like. Looks like the same texture to me. Still need the hopper empty though, so we can go to the other one. Alright, this is a very golden texture. The stubble looks like pretty similar to canola stubble, but it's a very good looking stubble. Again, the straw coming out the back is amazing. And I don't know if that's the mod or if that's the map. Both of them are mods. I'm talking, is this the harvester mod that makes the swath look so good out the back, or is it the map mod? Is it both working together very well? It could be. Again, the texture of the rice going into the harvester looks really bad because it's the Luna rice. Like, it's the same texture going into the harvester. But if you could find it in you to just look past that, these are really good crops, very high quality, very high yields. If they cut corners and copied some textures here and there, I don't think it's the end of the world. I just want to document it so all of you can see that, because I'm going to spend, you know, you could download all these mods and do this map and play it for a few hours to decide if you wanted to play it, or you could watch my video where I spend a few hours making a 30-40 minute video to hopefully document every part of the map and give you guys a good sense of whether or not you want to play it. That's why I do these first looks. I find an interesting map I want to try out. I show you guys so that you can know whether or not you want to play it. So let's get this last type of rice, BL28, I believe is what it's called. This one's a little shorter, a little closer to the ground. Pretty decent texture of it going in, even though it is not the right texture. The swath out the back is pretty green. Okay, interesting. So the stubble is pretty green. I'm not sure which one yields the highest. This one feels like it yields really well. The last one we did, Baroni, also felt like it yielded really well. But yeah, this isn't like a scientific, you know, I'm going to do the exact same field with the exact same fertilizer percentage and we're going to do all the different types, only one pass to see how much grain we get. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be that analytical about it. But yeah, I just wanted to show how they looked and kind of how they yielded, so you got a pretty good idea. They seem like they'll be a really good crop to run. You know, I've only done a little bit on this one field, and I'm already at like almost $3,000 worth of rice. So the whole field, I would guess, you know, you might even get close to 100,000. I'm not sure. It's just a very, very, very rough estimate. But this has been me showing the rice harvester off and the map as well. Still have one more thing I want to do, two more things actually, with the map. But this is where I'm going to stop using the harvester. I want to purchase this grain mill up here, because it looks like we can make rice flour. I did want to check that. Oh, so we already own it? Is that right? I didn't even have to buy it. So we can make the regular wheat, barley, oat, and sorghum flour. Can also make corn flour, Luna rice flour, Selenio rice flour, Baroni rice flour, and CL28 rice flour. If I check the prices on that. Oh, do these all make flour, actually? Hold on a minute. So 5 wheat makes 4 flour. 30 barley makes 23. I'm going to do a 1-to-1 ratio. So let me pull out my calculator here. 5 makes 4, which means 1.25 wheat makes 1 flour. Barley is 1.3 liters of barley makes 1 liter of flour. So a little bit worse because you need more barley to make the same amount of flour. But barley also yields higher, so it probably balances out. Okay. 15 to 19 ratio means you need 0.78 liters, so around 1 liter of oat makes 1 liter of flour, which makes sense because oat yields less. Sorghum is the best rate No, it's not. Sorry, oats is the best rate. 0.93, so a little under 1 liter of sorghum will make 1 liter of flour. Corn flour is the exact same, is it not? Yep, corn flour is the same. And corn is the highest yielding, I believe, so corn sounds like the best. Luna rice is the same. Okay, so they're all the same as sorghum. 0.9375 liters of corn, sorghum, or all 4 rices makes 1 liter of flour, or 1 liter of rice makes a little over 1 liter of flour. So they seem like very good options if you want to be making a lot of flour. And now, instead of only being able to do 4 crops to make flour, you can have a wide variety. These 4 crops are very similar. Wheat, barley, oat, and sorghum. Very similar, especially wheat, barley, and oat. Now they've added corn, which is completely different. Like you use a different header for it. And the 4 rices, which are pretty cool. So if you want some variation, but you still want to you still want to make flour with it, then you are more than welcome to. Plus, it's got this really cool look to it. I mean, it looks Italian to me. It doesn't look out of place in the map, and they've done a very good job at making it look like it belongs here. We got a little mural on the wall too, which is pretty cool. And yeah, the canal runs right through with a paddle wheel. So as the water rushes through the canal, it would turn the paddle wheel, which would grind the grain into flour. I'm guessing that's not the case on the map. That's just how it would work in real life. And you just dump stuff here, and it looks like... Sorry for running really fast. I'm just trying to figure out where everything goes. I don't see anywhere for the pallets to go, which is me a little worried. Yeah, I don't know where the pallets would drop. I'm going to go ahead and fill up a trailer with... You can go ahead and turn off. I'm going to fill up a trailer. We're going to fill it up with just wheat, and we're going to make flour with it. Let me just find my trailer. Looks like it's back there. I just want to check and see quick where the pallets are going to go, and then I will be checking out the different corn. So we do have regular corn, and then it's called maize silage, I believe. I just want to see if it's a different texture. Yeah, forage maize. So that's what you use. So corn is what you harvest with a header. Forage maize is what you would use a forage harvester for. One of these puppies with a forage harvester header to grind it up. And that'll make chaff, which you can then make into silage. I would think in real life you would use different crops for that. Whether if you wanted it to be corn that you harvest with a header, you would use a different crop than if you wanted corn to be forage harvested. The game doesn't differentiate. You can plant corn and harvest silage or corn. But this map just kind of breaks them up, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and fill this thing up with wheat. This is the Easy Dev Controls mod. Very, very nice for making videos, because I don't actually have to go plant a wheat field, harvest a wheat field, and then fill the trailer up with wheat. I can just fill it up right away. Same with if I want to add money to the account or plant like a field of wheat, I can just make it plant the field with wheat. I don't even have to do it. Obviously it takes the fun out of farming, so I don't do that for when I want to farm, but if I'm trying to make a quick video, it's very, very nice. Right, so in goes the wheat. Let me check the production, the cycles per month. Yeah, 1200 looks about right. So I'll just sleep through the night, and we'll see where those pallets end up. Let's make sure it's storing. Yep, flour is storing. So I'll sleep through the night, and then we'll figure out where those are going. Okay, I've slept through the night, and I did find where the flour is. This is where we were in the grain mill. It's not here. The flour isn't here, but if you walk up this path here to the animal husbandry dealer, right here in this little building is where all the flour spawns. So there's plenty of space here to get a forklift in there and pull a trailer up to load the flour onto your bed, or if you want to just use super strength, you can grab it there, or auto load, just pull the trailer up right next to it, all that. There's plenty of room, gates to go through on both sides, and then this is the path you walk. Obviously I am running very fast, but that's where it is. It's just right here. You turn right, come down this path, and get here. Alright, so for the last thing that we have to do on the map, we're going to check out that forage maze. Field 34 has forage maze. I can just walk there and look at it. Come on, I'm stuck on the fence. There we go. 34. Oh, shoot, it's withered. Okay. I guess I'll be using field 32 for that. I'll try and show you guys every single... Let's see here. Forage maze, field 32 sown. Let's do growing 1. So that's what it looks like. Growth stage 1. Wow. Oh, we got planes in the sky too. That's cool. Let's try and find a spot where there's no shadows going. So I think that looks very similar to corn. Now if I go to growing stage 2, we've got just a little taller, some red tassels on the top. Growing stage 3. Even taller. Kind of losing that dark red on the tassels, and they're more golden. Whoopsies. Ready to harvest 1 is... This is when you would harvest this. That looks pretty similar to the corn texture, but not identical. You see, if I take just regular corn at ready to harvest 1, which is growing stage 5, it's identical. Okay, so it's identical. Then if we take forage maze at ready to harvest 2, looks the same to me. Let's see if there's, and then withered of course is what it was. So yeah, there's never a stage with forage maze where you would use a corn header. You would only use a forage harvester with the forage harvester header. And when you cut that, it has to go into a trailer. We have these two here. So you just pull this up right next to the forage harvester and drive along the forage harvester with a tractor while the forage harvester is on a worker. That's what you'd have to do. Anyways, that does complete our deep dive into this map. I hope you guys have enjoyed it and found some really good stuff out about this map and the Case IH 7150 Rice version mod, as well as the Easy Dev Controls mod. I hope this video has led to you knowing whether or not you want to download this map or not. Please feel free to let me know in the comments if there's anything I missed or that you'd want to see in future map tours. Or let me know if you want to play the game, play this map specifically. Or if you want to see me play on this map, feel free to drop a like to let me know that's something you guys are interested in. I'm probably going to play on it regardless. The only difference is if you guys want to see it, I'll make sure to record it and post those episodes. So anyways, feel free to leave a like to let me know you enjoyed it, and subscribe if that's something you feel inclined to do. It's free. You can take it back anytime if you change your mind. But that's all from me for now. I hope you guys have enjoyed this map tour, and I look forward to the next one. Peace.